Before this story truly begins, pause for just a second, because what you're about to hear might change the way you see kindness forever. If stories that heal hearts matter to you, tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us until the end. You won't want to miss the moment when a mother's tears turn into something unforgettable. They used to call him, that quiet man with the limp. No one knew his name at first, only that every morning at exactly 6:20 a.m., he pushed a battered blue stroller past the corner bakery, one hand steady on the handle, the other gripping a thermos with chipped paint. Inside the stroller sat his daughter, 6-year-old Mia, her legs wrapped in braces, her eyes always bright despite the pain she never complained about. The man was Ethan Cole, a single dad, widowed young, living in a one-room apartment above a closed-down laundromat. Life hadn't been kind to him, but somehow, he remained gentle with it. Across the city, in a world of glass towers and private elevators, lived the Harrington family. Billionaires. Headlines followed them everywhere: luxury galas, political donations, exclusive islands. But none of those articles ever talked about the quiet tragedy inside their mansion. Their daughter, Lily Harrington, 12 years old, brilliant and kind, had been disabled since birth. A rare neurological condition left her unable to walk, her hands trembling when she tried to write, her speech sometimes slow and strained. Money bought the best doctors, the most advanced equipment, experimental treatments flown in from overseas. Yet nothing had given Lily what her parents wanted most: to see her move freely, without pain. Her mother, Claire Harrington, carried that grief like a second spine. She smiled in public, posed for photos, but every night she sat beside Lily's bed long after the nurses left, whispering apologies she couldn't explain. She blamed herself. The doctors said she shouldn't. The therapists told her to accept. But a mother's heart doesn't work on logic. Ethan and Claire's worlds were never meant to meet. It happened on a rainy afternoon when the city seemed exhausted by its own noise. Ethan had taken Mia to the public rehabilitation center, the only place they could afford. The waiting room was crowded, paint peeling, toys missing pieces. Mia was tired that day, her legs aching badly. Ethan rubbed her knees gently, whispering a silly story to distract her. That's when Lily was wheeled in. Her chair was sleek, custom-built, pushed by a nurse in a crisp uniform. Claire followed behind, phone pressed to her ear, frustration sharp in her voice as she argued with someone about scheduling. The contrast between the two families was impossible to miss. Designer coat beside a man with worn-out shoes. Private nurse beside a father doing everything himself. Mia noticed Lily first. She smiled and waved, the easy way children do when they haven't yet learned about social walls. Lily hesitated, then smiled back. "Your wheels are cool," Mia said softly. Lily laughed. "My dad says they're faster than his car." Ethan chuckled, surprised. Claire paused her call and looked over, irritation fading as she watched the girls talk like old friends. For a moment, the room felt lighter. Later, as therapy sessions ended, Ethan struggled to lift Mia back into her stroller. His hands shook with effort. Without thinking, Claire stepped forward and helped. Their eyes met, awkward but human. "Thank you," Ethan said quietly. Claire nodded. Of course, that should have been the end of it. But life has a strange way of reopening doors. Over the next few weeks, their schedules overlapped again and again. The girls grew close, sharing stories, laughter, small dreams. Lily talked about books she wanted to write. Mia talked about wanting to dance, even if only in her dreams. Ethan and Claire exchanged polite words at first, then longer conversations. Claire learned Ethan had once been a skilled physical therapy assistant before an accident injured his leg and took his wife in the same winter. Ethan learned Claire had given up her own career to focus entirely on Lily. One day, Lily watched Ethan work with Mia during a therapy session. His techniques were different, gentler, more intuitive. He didn't push through pain, he listened to it. Lily's eyes followed every movement. "Why doesn't anyone do that with me?" she asked her mother later. Claire froze. That night, she couldn't sleep. Against her instincts, and perhaps against her pride, Claire asked Ethan a question that changed everything. Would you be willing to work with Lily sometime? Just to see." Ethan hesitated. He wasn't licensed anymore. He was tired. He had nothing fancy to offer. But he saw the hope trembling in Lily's eyes. "I can try," he said. "No promises, just patience." What started as one session became many. In a quiet room of the Harrington estate, far from cameras and expectations, Ethan worked with Lily using methods no expensive specialist had ever tried. He focused on balance before strength, trust before movement. He celebrated inches, not miracles. Claire watched from the doorway, skeptical at first, then curious, then deeply afraid to hope. Weeks passed. Lily's hands steadied slightly, her posture improved. One afternoon, with Ethan supporting her gently, Lily stood for 3 full seconds without assistance. 3 seconds that shattered years of despair. Claire covered her mouth, tears spilling freely. Not polished tears, not quiet ones, the kind that shake your whole body. Months later, at a charity gala meant to showcase the Harringtons' generosity, Claire did something unexpected. Instead of a speech about wealth or impact, she told the room about a single dad with nothing but patience and heart who gave her daughter something no money ever had, belief. Ethan was invited onto the stage, stunned, uncomfortable in a borrowed suit. He tried to refuse the praise. Claire took his hands and whispered, "You gave us a miracle." The Harrington Foundation funded free therapy programs based on Ethan's methods across the city. Ethan was offered a position to train others, with full support from Mia's care. Lily continued to improve, slowly but surely, surrounded not by pressure, but by hope. And Claire, she cried again, this time not from pain, but from gratitude. Because sometimes miracles don't come from billion-dollar machines or world-famous doctors. Sometimes they come from a tired single dad who never stopped believing that gentle effort could still change the world. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness still matters. Stay with us, because the next story might be the one that changes everything for you.